Hi, my name is Jesse Durham, and we're here for another installment of our quote series where we address a famous quote from somewhere in the world and how it relates to the infinite banking concept. So today's quote is going to be, "Neither cast ye your pearls before swine." This is from the New Testament in the Bible, and I'd like to show how it relates to the infinite banking concept in this way. I was having a conversation with a potential client recently, and we discussed books. And you can see I'm a big fan. I'm always reading something for fun, something for learning, and all these different areas that are important to me in my life, whether that's my marriage, my fatherhood, physical fitness and health, nutrition, and of course, personal finance, right? Which the cornerstone is going to be Nelson's works, becoming your own banker and building your warehouse of wealth for sure. But this potential client and I were having the discussion of books and how we've received gifts before, books that were given to us by friends, people that we loved, honored, treasured, valued, okay? And how they would perhaps end up getting set aside somewhere unread. Whereas if we spent a minuscule amount of money on something that intrigued us a little bit, it was so much more likely to be read. Now, again, the Bible does famously say, "He that hath ears to hear, let him hear." Okay, so sometimes we see things and we're not seeing things. Sometimes we're hearing things and we're not listening. We're not really hearing those things. And my personal story is that I was given a book back in 2007 because it would have been the year that my wife and I got married, 2007. We were given a book that years and years, so I never read that book. In fact, if you'd have asked me about reading that kind of a book at that time, I would have said I would have said something funny. This is too frou-frou, too kumbaya. I didn't know, I'd not heard, nor would I have valued the term personal growth, development, anything of that nature. I would have scoffed at it in my ignorance and ego. Okay, I can own that now. I couldn't have owned it then. I had ears to hear, and I didn't. Had eyes to see, and I didn't. So that pearl of a book, which actually is now right here, one of my all-time favorites now. It's something that actually changed my paradigm of looking at love, looking at relationships, and the love languages. That's the book, The 5 Love Languages. And it was a wedding gift, though, years and years ago. And yet, for business purposes, that book was recommended to me years later. And I was the one that wanted to read it. And I did, because the desire, the motivation came from within. It was something that I wanted to do. It was something that was my choice. And here I read that book, and my wife ends up telling me that, hey, we already have a copy of that. And we dug up, I remember where it was in the closet now, just stuffed away with such, impunity, along with many other things, just storage, right? And I was ashamed at what a gem I had set aside unknowingly. So again, in addressing, casting pearls before swine, I would have been a swine in that instance, because of ego or pride or just not knowing, ignorance. Okay. I would not have been able to recognize, and yet I did eventually. And I'm still on my path. I'm still learning and growing, right? That's a book that I actually reread as well, much like Nash's. Nash changed my paradigm on money and finance and legacy and, generational thinking. And just like that other one developed how I viewed and changed my paradigm on relationships and love and how we speak to each other, even if we're not speaking, words of affirmation, but other things. So I highly recommend that book. It's a great book. So how does that connect to the infinite banking concept? Why is that showing up on this channel? Nelson constantly encouraged us to do a few different things. One was to rethink our thinking. There's nothing wrong with questioning, what we believe to be true. There's nothing wrong with questioning what we think we know. Do we really know that? How do we know that? These are great discussions to have. These are great things to read about. So I hope that we're seeing how the infinite banking concept, it's a pearl, it's a gem. And for those of us that get it at whatever level we get it at, and that does continue to evolve and to grow itself, our recognition, our understanding of the infinite banking concept. We have to recognize that there was a time that it would have been a pearl before us as swine, okay? And if we want to share it, it may be invisible to somebody at whatever stage they're at in their life, in their personal growth and development, in their journey. But that's okay. It's like a seed. We can plant that seed. We don't know if it'll fall on hard ground, if the crows will eat it up, etc. But as a quote, that saying of not casting pearls before swine, it causes me to value what I do know, that I know. And it's also encouraging to me that I've been on both sides, right? I've been in the situation where something so, wonderful was just unrecognizable to me. And then there came a time when I was motivated to learn about something. I did learn about something and I actually applied it, just like I do actively apply the love languages in my life. I actively apply the infinite banking concept by being a consumer myself, buying these whole life policies with mutual companies that pay dividends, owning multiple policies with multiple companies, and using these policies to satisfy our need for finance in our household, in our business, in our investing, and in everything that we touch. So I hope that this has been encouraging to you. Again, I'm always interested to know what comments, what quotes, what sayings stick out to you, mean something to you, or that you're curious about. I'd love to be able to look at them and cover them if you want to comment in this video. Or again, as always, whether it's for a comment or whether it's to learn more about how you could apply the infinite banking concept in your life, in your household, in your business, in your investing, in whatever area is important to you, you can reach us at durhamtalents@gmail.com or phone 828-817-4223. This has been an absolute pleasure for me to cover. I look forward to our next conversation. Have a great day.